everybody.
Hi.
You.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
I like to keep you on gallery. I know some of you have mentioned it's easier if I were, just not on gallery. I forget what that's called. But this way I can see you and it's really all about you. So you can hear my voice. You really don't need to see me. I mean, sometimes I might point some things out, but so posture and balance. Interesting. So does your motivation for this? Is it something that you're just curious about, or is there an actual, like, I want better posture? Is it like, that's what I want, or I have trouble balancing? I mean, tell me a little bit about the angle. I'm going to come at it probably from a different angle. So I kind of want to know like what you're experiencing. So just one or two of you who feel, has somebody told you if you don't improve your posture, that's why your back hurts, or is it just that you want to look better, or, what is the motivation? Kelly, is that Kel?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I don't like walking hunched over. It bothers me. I don't want a hump on the back of my neck. And when I force myself to stand up straight, I'm very tense, like you talked about on a video I just watched. So I'm disenchanted, and I'd like you to smooth it out a little bit for me.
Oh, I love that. Okay. That's so fun. It's like, yeah, there's going to be a couple of little nuggets. Laura likes that word. Couple of little nuggets that you're just going to love for that. Anybody else? Tell me about what you, Rebecca?
Hi.
Hi.
I'm have scoliosis. So I'm in a home therapy program. I'm working with a physical therapist because my curve is progressed. I'm almost 60. So I have found that your balls are really effective for helping me relieve those tension areas where
income tax.
So I'd like to focus on this to help my posture with scoliosis. And I have an S curve.
You're a youngster. You're 60, you said?
Yeah, almost 60.
Ah, okay. Anybody else? Barbara. Go ahead. Go ahead, sweetie. Yeah, if you make sure, if you have people who want to talk to you, or small children, animals barking, construction, anything in the background, please have yourself on mute. I have a very bad attention span, and I can get taken into sounds very easily, as well as others, I'm sure. So go ahead, Barbara.
I'd like to know what good posture is. I don't know if I have good posture or when I have good posture. And so those are the check-ins that I would like to do with myself during the day and so forth.
Right. So I think if you don't know, then it's probably not so much a visual thing then. It's something that, yeah, you're going about it a little different. Still valid, obviously. What about balance? Anybody with a balance thing that they're working on? Because I mean, they kind of go together in a strange kind of way. So no balance kind of things. Just don't feel like talking about it. Okay, so all right, so what kind of things, just one other question then, what kind of things have you tried? I mean, is it Kel? Is that how you say your name, or Kelly?
It's Kelly.
Kelly, okay.
Yes. And I do Tai Chi every day. Tai Chi is my deal, but I just noticed my body wants to hunch over. It does not want to stand up straight, and I have to make it stand up straight. And that's why I'm interested in your miracle ball, because I'm tired of forcing myself to stand up, because I know you don't like that forcing.
Well, the thing is that, I mean, forcing something, if it feels good, like if you're gonna like be playing a really rigorous game of tennis, you're gonna want to force and hit the ball and do all that kind of stuff. Forcing is not bad. It's only bad when it's not based on logic. So here's the main thing that happens with posture and with balance is people think it's holding a position. Holding is not bad. But holding has to be connected to something else. If you're just holding your upper body, like let's say you're doing Tai Chi, right? I don't do Tai Chi, but I'm going to fake it, right? So let's say you do Tai Chi and you just want your upper body to be lifted and you're going through the motions, right? Eventually, it's going to get extremely tiring, because one part of the body cannot do the work of the other part of the body. See, when you start using the lower body, then you have an opposition. Your standing upright comes off the feeling of going down. You don't have to invent going down. Gravity is taking you down. But if you're fighting to have good posture and stand up, or fighting to hold balance, you're never going to work with gravity, right? You're going to be fighting against gravity, so you're not going to have balance, right? You're not going to have the up without a sense of, why am I always straining? Because you don't feel what's down. Okay, so let's think of it logically. Here's a bench, 4 legs on the floor, right? Nobody has a problem with realizing that this is balanced, right? And it's not awkward, it's not over on its side like this, right? Because all 4 legs are on the floor. So you have a pretty good, you know, tabletop here. Flat, it all makes logical sense. But that's because it's down on the floor. If you all of a sudden saw me try to hold this bench up in the air.
Would you rather do the
No, go ahead.
I'm gonna just put this person on mute. This person is getting muted. There we go. Right, so if I start holding this up in the air, just arbitrarily, and want it to function, I'm gonna get exhausted, right? Because I'm just using the effort of the upper body to try to balance me, to try to have good posture. It doesn't work. It never will work. So that's what we're gonna experience today. It's great for a scoliosis. It's great for your lower back. You're gonna bring it into your exercise classes. You're walking, you're standing, everything you do. Because without the experience of the down, which is just logical, but if your brain keeps telling you, right, because remember, you're only listening to the directions that you've given your body over a period of years, some of us longer than others. It's not really an age thing though, because some people have more of like, some people have a gift for playing an instrument. Some people can change very quickly, and others, like myself, took me a lot longer, right? Because I didn't have a lot of sense of my body. You don't have to invent gravity. It exists, but you do have to bring it into your dialogue with yourself, right? So you're not going to have to make yourself heavy, but you are going to have to bring that piece into what you do. And that's going to start to allow, now this is the good news, that's going to allow your body to find balance, right? To find your natural equilibrium. But if you're just holding, right? Because somebody told you hold this for no logical reason, your brain can't adjust that because you've told yourself, if I just keep holding myself up, not down, we never usually say down, we just want to stand up. but really you're always going in two directions because of gravity. The weight of you is always down, which is a beautiful thing. But because I'll add one more key piece for you to take with you, because of your breathing, you're able to rise up, right? So even though you say the weight down, oh, wow, well, then that's like really going to pull me down. No, because of your breathing, you're actually going to get that feeling of going in both directions. If you choose not to breathe, which most adults breathe very minimally because of not understanding what they're doing physically, that cuts off their breathing, right? It literally sits down on their breathing apparatus, making it very difficult for them to ride that wave, right? So just one more thing, when you think of a surfer, have you ever watched people surf? I've never surfed, but have you ever gone out and they kind of catch the wave, right? They catch the wave. And what they have to do, I've seen this and it's fascinating. It's both pieces of what we're talking about. They feel the water under them, right? And then there's a place where they have to kind of feel that wave so that they can ride it and be above it. So they're kind of feeling two things. They're working their lower body, feeling what's under them, but they're extremely lifted upright. That's the joy. What takes them down is not riding that wave. Your wave right here, you can put your hands right here and wrap them around your lower ribs gently. And just kind of get a sense, if, obviously we're all breathing, but if you make a little bit of an exhalation, you'll kind of feel some movement underneath your hands. And then when you notice you're breathing in, you'll notice some movement there. That's the wave. That's your diaphragmatic muscle. Now, most people will lose that feeling by crushing this part of their body. Because, usually nobody tells them, I'm not asking you to have good breathing. I'm asking you to allow your body to function so that you will breathe. So there are a few key areas of our body we're going to tune into today that will lift this. This is like the surfboard, right? The diaphragmatic muscle is kind of like that wave that moves up and down in your body. It's connected like a drum head all around the base of your thoracic cavity. So it's not just here, it's actually connected here. It's connected up into your ribs. And when you breathe and you actually do, say, cardio work, it actually massages several inches up and down in your body, right? So this is a powerful muscle keeping you upright. Now, if you want to, kind of ponder that like I do, I just like, okay, then you start to realize, because I was a piano player, so I was always like this when I was a kid. I was always kind of rounded and cut off here. And then when I got chronic pain, I kind of was like really into one side more than the other. I had no idea that I held my breath either. So I couldn't get out of it. I was stuck physically. And I also was a breath holder because probably my personality, along with some of my posturing, right? So there's some key things that you might not even have difficulty doing. You just don't realize that what you are doing is making it hard to change. So you want to get a sense when you think about posture and balance that your body knows where balance and posture is. But as long as you're going to just drop your ribs down onto that wave, just kind of cut off the diaphragmatic muscle from working, get that sense of just all of your posture just being a holding and rigid thing, you're never going to be able to just feel that great feeling like, wow, I'm upright because this is how my body can do it naturally. There's only two choices with bodies, right? The way you've trained it and where it can go. Humans, emotions, lots and lots and lots of thoughts. But with bodies, for myself, it was important for me to kind of, not freak out all the time so that my body could work. And then I was able to start feeling that was easier than me constantly going, no, it's this, it's that, that's not happening. Oh, look, I still have pain over there. It's going to gradually take you to balance, especially with a couple of the, especially one. We're going to do one movement today. We're going to actually do two, but we're going to do one movement today that I would describe to myself as an indicator of my posture and my balance, right? So this one movement is just great because if you have trouble with it, which I always have trouble with it, and then it like starts to change, then wow, you're really dropped into that diaphragmatic muscle and you're really tight, right? Because when you're dropped into that diaphragmatic muscle, you don't have the circulation and the blood flow to make it easy, right? So we want to undo some of these habits today. So at the end, maybe you'll feel a little sense of how your body, right? So remember, most of us, we're just learning. So these are kind of little, it's not delicate, but you might not get, like this to the result for hours. You might just get snippets of kind of, oh, I feel something different. Right? Because that's your body. That's not an accident. That's like you've opened it up to feeling something different. So do you want to start trying, or anybody have a question before we try or start or get started? Sherry?
Where does the butt come in?
What do you mean?
The strength of your buttocks. Doesn't that play a role in being able to stand up straight?
Okay, that's a really good point. Every muscle in your body is important. Unfortunately, the way exercise is taught, they isolate one part from the next. It's the same thing with posture, just hold up the upper body. Or people will say, oh, you want your core to be strong, let's just clench your glutes. It doesn't work that way, bodies. You can't work one muscle alone without feeling, I think like Kelly was expressing with her posture, just feeling like it gets tighter and tighter and you don't get the results you want. So you're right, all that is an important muscle group. It's all important because if you don't lift off your glutes, you're not going to be able to use your core. It's going to feel like it's not affecting you the way you want it to. Okay. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you can go in a gym and you might see, somebody in a gym and go, well, why do they have it? And some people, again, it could be the way they've worked out. I do work with a lot of young people that work out and they have beautiful core and abs and everything else, and they have chronic pain. So sometimes looks are very deceiving. So I just want you to feel good and start moving more freely. And yes, you can get very strong, but we don't want strength, at the expense of feeling good. So you can have both. So you can have that strong core and still have a beautiful posture and everything else, and hopefully have it be a freer feeling rather than one that's just, oh, I have to walk around all day holding myself up. You can't. I can't walk around all day holding the bench up. It's not functional. Eventually you have to put your body down so it can lift up and you can feel that weight. You can feel that middle of your body. So let's do so. We're going to just start and keep track of time a little bit so I don't go on and on. But track of time, just a sense of sitting on the chair, all right? If you want to do the sitting on the floor, you could sit on the floor as well. When you sit though, you don't want to feel like you're straining, so don't force your posture. Okay, so whether if you're sitting on the floor, that's fine, but if it's torture to sit on the floor, then it's going to be very distracting for you to actually feel your body, right? So we're not making good posture. This is just a way of you getting a sense of where you feel muscles involved with breathing. So this might take, 1 minute each day. And any sense of feeling, anything you notice about your sitting. So there's those 3 key areas: your head, your rib cage, and your pelvis. So just bring your kinesthetic sense, because your bodies work through feel, to that sense of your whole. And does anything stand out when you notice the feeling of where your breathing is and the sense of your sitting? Anybody not feel their breathing at all? Anybody like right off from the top has, sense of, Claudia, no sense of your breathing?
How are you?
I've just,
Gorgeous, isn't it?
I've just been.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be back.
I'm sorry, you're breaking up.
Yeah, I was stopping because talking over them, but I've injured 3 more ribs and I'm in pain and I just tend to clench and my breathing has just been awful and I can't figure out. I'm so glad we're going to do this, but my back is really bended now, and I don't know where I am. I'm so frustrated.
Yeah, I think again, sometimes when you're really starting out, and all of us, have been there at different times, again, the frustration when you start, and I get that this is not necessarily, notice I said 1 minute, but if you're going to spend a lot of your time thinking about how frustrated you are, which I get that, just remember you're doing it for 1 minute and try to just sense your physical body. Don't think you're going to be sitting here for an hour, okay? And when you're sitting here again, you just need something for the brain to get a sense of knowingness. So when you're doing Tai Chi or taking a walk or whatever, you have it at your fingertips. That's the reason for doing this. It's not so we can sit for hours a day. So again, just getting that sense of where you feel your breathing and notice where you feel the weight of your body resting right now. Do you feel weight on the bench? Okay, get a sense of that. All right, so notice I'm saying those 2 things, weight and breath, and just start with the feeling of your arms hanging alongside your body. And we're going to start with the right arm. Okay, so let's just start with the right arm and shoulder. And I just want you're not imitating me because I'm not even going to do it, just so I don't mess you up. And I just want you to begin to slowly raise your right arm as up towards the ceiling until you lengthen the arm up as high as it can comfortably go. Take your time. When you get up as far as you can comfortably go, reach your hand towards the ceiling and then gradually let the arm back down. All right, when you let it down, you're going to feel the weight of that part of your body. So again, that's where the weight piece of it comes in. So you're going to see, is the arm and shoulder, is it starting to rest? Do I feel that? And then when you're ready, you'll try it again. So you're going to gradually take that arm. You're going to slowly again. So remember, I'm going to keep saying the same thing, and so are you to yourself when you do this during the week. Sense the weight of your arm as it moves up. When it gets up as high as it comfortably can, give a little reach through your fingertips, and then gradually bring the weight of your arm and shoulder back down. Again, taking as much time as you need. So pretty much looking around the room, and you can do this while I talk you through it. You're going to give it time to come down. In between, feel free to make your S sound, like an exhalation on the sound of an S for 1 exhalation. At the end of the sound, just stop and take notice of the feeling of your breathing after you make that sound. All right, so you can do that at any time in between movements. All right, so does anybody notice when they do the movement that they stop breathing? Okay, we have one honest person in the room. Check it out. Check out what you do when you raise your arm up. When you get it up there as high as you comfortably can, reach a little bit through your fingertips and then gradually let your arm and shoulder back down. And do you stop your breathing when you move your arm? So I'm not asking you to make yourself breathe. I'm wondering if when you move, you hold your breath.
Hey.
When you let your arm down, does it get any heavier? Does anybody feel like any other parts of their body begin to move when they raise their arm up towards the ceiling?
The ribs,
Okay, so what are the ribs doing exactly?
it's stretching the ribs.
And in what direction?
Up.
Okay, so the ribs begin to lift up off that diaphragmatic muscle. Okay, you give a little reach. Anybody else feel their arms are connected to their rib cage?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so again, whenever you move any part of your body, get a sense of, again, the old paradigm of exercise is I move this part, put it down, then I move the other part. So the rest of the body could be in another country. It doesn't matter, I move this part. So if this part of your body is constantly in, like, it's just not feeling that it's linked, then it's going to be hard to raise the shoulder up with the arm, connect to your rib cage, right? So you want to get that sense when you reach your arm up, is it attached to any other parts of your body? And do you let, there you go, do you let other parts of your body move? So a lot of this, like I said, is either the old way or allowing yourself to feel every movement you do is a whole body movement. Right? Every movement, there is no such thing as I'm holding balance or holding posture, because you're never stiff. There's always the movement through the rest of your body. All right, so don't begin a new movement and just kind of notice the feeling on that right side of your body. And then just let the weight of your head and neck bend forward, because this is the heaviest part of your body. And just give into that sense of the weight. Do you feel this through other parts of your body? Does it get any heavier? When you lift your head up, can you bring your attention to other parts of your body? Is your pelvis involved? What happens to your breathing? All right, let's try the same thing on the left side. All right, so get a sense, first get that feeling of your sitting, that sense of your sit bones, your back muscles. If you need a break at any time, letting the weight of your head bend forward is kind of connecting you more to that center of gravity. So you're not just holding yourself up. You can feel that support of your pelvis down. So anytime you need a break, especially during your day, if your neck muscles get tight, feel the weight of your head giving in. Get a sense if there's any connection to your breathing. And when you lift your head up, is there any connection? Now, do you isolate it from the rest of your body based on the way you do it? Or do you feel any sense that you can still breathe? right? So your breathing is the big indicator, right? So let's go to the left arm. So gradually just feeling the weight of the arm, almost as if you're resting the arm in somebody's hands, so that you can feel the weight of it as it goes up, so that you can get a sense, right, of, you know, what's going on with other parts. Because if you just rocket it up towards the ceiling, you might miss a lot of adjustments in the beginning that you're not used to making. A lot of that lift, a lot of that openness in your breathing, letting the head find a little bit of a different place, that maybe the pelvis anchors differently on the chair, and then gradually bringing your arm and shoulder back down. What does the elbow have to do with that feeling? Does the shoulder begin to come down? And so if you find you're holding your breath, that's when you start noticing that most movements don't have a chance to connect to balance or to your posture if when you move, you choose to hold your breath. So remember, if you catch yourself holding your breath, it's not because your body wants to. Those are usually positions of the body that prevent you from breathing. So right now, beginning to reach your arm up, see if you could, again, maybe allow it to move other parts of your body. Let yourself breathe. Maybe the elbow rotates a little bit. Maybe the hand turns. Does your rib cage, I talked about that surfer, lift right up off the diaphragmatic muscle so it just begins to move easily? And when your arm and shoulder come down, the shoulders come down, but why does your rib cage need to come down? Those are just, again, habits, and we want to let the shoulders rest. All right, and let's just try it now with both arms at the same time, and just see if it's a little bit different. So whenever you're sensing one part of the body going up, other parts of the body are immediately shifting. It's what you bring your attention to. Most people are used to how they've been trained, how they've trained themselves. But bodies are based on the laws of physics. Nice. As you begin to move one part up, other parts are going to go down. You're going to have a shift through many parts of your body. Lengthen your fingertips up when you get there, and then you'll gradually come back. All right, so there's a sense that your arms are really playing with that feeling of being connected, not just locked in the shoulder or the neck. All right, so let's see if we can connect a little bit to the feeling of your pelvis now. So let your shoulders down. So again, this is like learning how to read, right? You get one vocabulary word at a time. Eventually you're reading novels, right? So it's just different. And I don't know about you, but I was never a good learner. So every single thing I learned, I was frustrated, right? I stuck it out. I always stuck things out, but it wasn't easy. Right? So if you get a little bit frustrated, it doesn't mean throw in the towel, because it will get easy. Hang forward, give in to gravity. Just then. So here's your sense of just giving in to gravity, hang over. So that was a lot of work for most people. So when you hang forward, your body is going to fold at another length at your leg joint. So you don't want to hold your neck and shoulders. You don't want to hold your ribs, especially your ribs, because that's what's going to free you to be able to ride that wave. So let yourself bend at your leg joint. And just feel how beautiful your arms and shoulders hang. This will relieve the backache. This will connect you into those inner thigh muscles. And when you come back up, again, notice how you do it. Is it just about the neck and shoulders? Or do you feel the weight of your pelvis down come up. And where does your body find balance? Over your sit bones. So you get that sense of your balance and that feeling of where balance comes from, which is that anchoring down. So all balance and posture comes from that feeling of your pelvis. So roll your pelvis a little forward and back on those sits bones. Just roll them forward and back on the sits bones. All right. Yeah, so it's less, I'm not even really moving my head and neck. Some of you are moving your pelvis by moving your head and neck, but I really want you to feel how strong a group of muscles are connecting to your leg, because that's what's allowing you to be upright and find balance. Right, so look at me. Doing it this way seems okay, and yes, you are moving your pelvis, right? But it's a strategy like, oh, look, I'm moving my hand by moving my arm. That's different than moving your hand. I'm moving my arm. Yes, my hand moves. I'm moving my back. But your pelvis is connected down into your leg. And that's essential for you to feel that push down with your legs in order to be up. So it's less, so it's really between those inner thighs, rolling behind your sits bones, getting that sense of your breathing when you do that. So there's the opposition going down. Right? See if your body for a moment, make your S sound again, just gets that sense of anything under it. So remember, it needs a feeling. It doesn't need the perfect feeling. It just needs you to zeroing in on that sensation. Now I want you to just hug yourself as if you're going to take your t-shirt off. And I want you to simulate that sensation using your elbows and your hands. Just pull your t-shirt off and bring your arms down and around. Beautiful. Did you notice your rib cage had to move? Right, try it again. Hug yourself, right? That's it. Now notice your elbows. Don't worry about your shoulders. Think of your elbows lifting up, uncurling, so you open up. That's beautiful. Let your ribs come up, right? Like somebody's pulling your hands up. Now, that was pretty good. The only thing I didn't notice, you looked like you were a little stingy with your breathing. You see, as soon as this thing lifts, like as soon as I didn't even have to lift it. If somebody came along and pulled your arms as a kid, immediately your ribs would come up. You're a kid. You're not planning a, choreography. Somebody pulls your arms, your ribs go up. You don't want to break your shoulder, right? It's not rocket science, right? But as adults, we hold like this and then we go, oh, the shoulder hurts. Yeah, because you didn't let the rest of the body know what it had to do. What you were stingy at is as soon as that rib lifted off the diaphragmatic muscle, you want to breathe, but some of you are not letting yourself. Yeah, stay up there because that's going to keep you up. Yeah, so it takes the back pain away. Try it again. So now the reason I do it from the elbow is because your elbow beautifully rotates your shoulder down your back. Some of you keep your elbows locked. Let your head be free to go up too. So you notice how you just keep lifting. When your arms are down, you can let your arms down. Do you feel more lifted on your sits bones?
Yeah.
Sense that feeling of your breathing. So listen, you're not flying. Nobody in this room right now is flying. Your weight is down, but you're more lifted up. That's what balance is. Your weight is always down. Now watch me go forward. Stop trying to exercise. You have a lot of weight. Just bend forward. Give in to gravity. You're still breathing. Let your head go too. That's it. Let it get a little deeper into the leg. Into the leg. Don't pull with your lower back. It's a leg muscle. Let yourselves breathe. Press your feet into the floor. Open your thighs a little bit. right? That's it. Press your feet, open your inner thighs. The inner thigh is the balance muscle, really, and then come all the way back up. Feel the weight down to lift yourselves up. Feel the weight down so your brain knows, oh, there's the down. It feels it, right? And the rest of your body will come up based on the feeling of down. You can't just hold yourself up. It's exhausting, right? You only can go upright based on the feeling of breathing, because there's no way any of you would be upright without breathing. As people become adults and sit hours at computers, drive, stress, and whatever, this muscle in here, this whole group becomes sat on. And then posture and balance is impossible. So every time you take your t-shirt off, you feel your elbows. You see, these are rotating my shoulder joint. They're just rotating my shoulder. So it's my chest and my back that get pulled by my hands. Let your head move. All right. What about the side body? Let your right arm down and reach over to the right. This is rib cage. Use your hand. So if I'm reaching over to the right, the left hip is down. Come all the way back up. That's it. So I know that was fast. Reach up the right arm now. So listen, if you want to go over to the left and you want to say, oh, I need that, really want that opening of my ribs, that breathing, whatever, you got to feel that right hip down. You can't just throw yourself. Yeah, no, here's why you're having a problem, some of you. Look at me. If you're trying to take your shoulder to move you over, look, it's hard for me to do it exactly the way you're doing. Okay, see, this is my shoulder and it already hurts doing it that way, moving me over. See this? Okay. Watch, when you go over, this stays the same. You're moving your ribs. See, my rib is moving my arm. It's there. It's not the shoulder. Say, oh, I'm pulling my shoulder. That's trying to get my side stretch. No, you're moving this key area of your body up and over. That's it. Let's try it again on the other side. Just swing up and over. Let yourself breathe. Your body, I know you want to breathe. I can see you holding back. Go over to the other side. So this picture from here up just bent. It's not the shoulder holding you. It's the whole body. That's it. Lift up. Just stretch both arms up. Just reach up. Right? That's it. Bring your arms around. Hug yourself again. Take off that t-shirt again. Let the air in. Lift up. Lift up. Bring your arms down. Right? And then just fold forward again. Hang over. Just give in to gravity. Exhale. Make a sound. Make the S sound going forward. This is about your legs. Right. Some of us need to find those so that we get beautiful. Take a little walk with your arms if you want. When you lift up, you're lifting up from that feeling of the weight down. Right? So posture is never a lonely thing of the upper body holding on, or you will forever be unhappy. Right? Whereas, see how beautifully balanced you all are? Now, you're just the tip of the iceberg and you did that beautifully. Just get a sense of how your sits bones, your pelvis, that weight down is the reference point for your whole body. Open your mouth on an exhalation and make a ha sound like you're just fogging up a window with your breath, like and allow that air to really kind of come back up and in. So when you open a window, you let breath in. You don't open the window, then close it really quick. No, you feel, oh, this breath is coming into my body. Well, breath stretches so that you can be upright. That's what the breath does. It lifts you up. You don't have to make things happen, but you do have to let your body function. All right, so take a moment just to sense what your balance is like now. Any questions before we lie down? Anybody notice a difference? I mean, I can see the difference. How would you describe what you feel now compared with when I asked you a half hour ago? What's different? You need to articulate, because it's not for me, it's so your brain, it's hard to put these feelings into words. It takes a certain amount of your nervous system to, oh yeah, that's what's happening, right? Anybody notice anything different?
More length. More length.
Lights?
Length.
Length, okay, 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 and really try to be specific too. So this way, if you're walking around and you start noticing, you know, like right now, if you say, oh, the length is middle of my body, right? Then you start noticing those muscles, then every time you walk around, you start noticing, yeah, you can feel more parts of your body activated. Too general, it becomes hit or miss. When you start going, oh yeah, my shoulders are not up here around my ears, oh, I like that feeling. Your brain starts making choices based on feeling. You feed it new feelings, it starts to make choices based on what feels good. Most of us are not masochistic. All right, so we're going to do one more thing lying down using the balls. I know the sitting stuff can be a little hard, but I just love what it does as far as just, you know, especially if you, you know, do walk, unless you know, some of us, you know, lie down a lot. You know, I do know people that, you know, they sit, they feed, they do whatever, but so this is very beneficial to kind of energize your body, but also if you're going to exercise, moving the arms is at least 40–45% of your balance is using your arms when you exercise, right? So feeling that opposition of arms to legs. So bend your knees and rest your feet on the floor. We're going to put a ball under each hip. Okay, so as you noticed, and these are the words, I just want you to take a couple of words with you. Now these words, just like I might say if I'm cooking, you know, salt, sugar, words, you know, like oregano or whatever, putting it into, well, you know, the word is nothing until you put it into the food and you taste it and it has a sensory experience. So you're going to get a sensory vocabulary from some words. So you're going to take the balls and you're going to place one under each hip and you're going to feel the weight on the balls. That's what you're learning. I still practice that and it still gets richer all the time because I start to, you know, get a little more clear what I'm doing. So if anybody has a question, that's why I'm here. So just feel the weight. Try not to do a lot of moving around. Because sometimes I'm a fidgeter. I admit that. I've had lots of teachers in my life point that out to me. I'm always moving. And you know, that's me. Okay. The thing is, it's not helpful all the time. Some responses physically, but I want you to know the difference from your habits. Now, some of you don't move at all. You're not fidgeting at all. And, you know, so you want, there's a certain amount of response. You just took a huge part of your body and you put it on two balls. The weight's going to shift. Make your S sound. All right, are you saying something?
I have a question.
Sure.
When we put the balls under,
Right.
do we put them like up? Where on the hip do we put them? Higher,
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. Okay. So we do,
higher up, or
we do in the classes put them all different parts, but Danielle is asking a really important question. If you wrap your hands around the massive hip bones at the top of your pelvis around your waist, most of you, when you wrap your hands around your waist, your thumb is pointing back in the direction of the top of your pelvis, and you can feel where the lumbar spine kind of goes into the top of the pelvis. That's where most people get like the backaches, the sciatic pain, the scoliosis is usually a little bit tighter on one side or whatever. That's the top of the pelvis, Danielle. Now, all of you can slide your hands down to the bottom of your buttocks, what you were sitting on, wherever you sit, you're sitting on your sits bones in some way, shape, or form. Those are two bony protuberances at the bottom of your pelvic cavity, about the size of your index finger. So you just went from the top to the bottom of your pelvic cavity. For today, we're going to put the balls in the middle of your pelvis. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. The main thing is that you feel the weight and rest on them. Yeah. Right. Okay, so just rest there, Danielle, and move your arms away, sweetie, so I can see the balls. Can you move your arms away? Not your body, your arms, shoulder level. Yep, perfect. Yeah, yeah, that's it. Just let your arms rest shoulder level. That's it, yeah. Not above shoulder, shoulder level, right, yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, so you need to practice just resting there so you can sense some chain reactions happening through the rest of your body. Let your ribs soften, everybody else, make your S sound, so everybody get a sense that they're resting their weight on the balls. Okay, so you got a long way to go. You never get the full weight on the balls because we have too much, too much tension in the body and all that kind of stuff, but you definitely want to spend some time just resting there. All right, yeah, let your rib cage sink a little bit. So usually what I notice when I first lie down is how much I'm tensing. What's that, Rebecca?
Oh, two questions. Do you want your legs straight or bent, or does it matter?
Your knees are bent right now.
Okay. Second question, when you're doing your breathing, making your S or your ah sounds, do you breathe in through your nose or do you breathe in through your mouth?
You could do it that way if you wanted to. I mean, you could, well, usually the nose is, preferred because it requires more of your diaphragmatic muscle to work. So if on an inhalation, you would breathe through your nose. If
Perfect.
possible. Yeah. All right, so this is a very interesting picture for me. We don't have that much more time, but I could spend about an hour right now just saying, okay, let's kind of, all right, so I hope you have a starting place. That's your book, right? Knowing what you're doing right now, where you're breathing, how you're resting. Now we're going to switch the picture. We're going to fold yourself in half. There's a link at the top of your leg joint. Remember, we bent forward and there's a link, and when you reached your arms up, there's a link in your shoulders, right? Every movement you do is the same thing we started with for posture and balance. There's going to be equal and opposite responses through the body if you let them happen. So pick your feet up off the floor, let your thighs fold in, and let's see what you do with that. That's it. Just do it, Danielle. Don't overthink it. Just bring your legs up. Yeah. I just want you to know, don't fix anything, Danielle. Right. The balls for you were at the bottom of your pelvis. That's okay. But if you feel you're going to lose them, that's the reason for putting them in the middle. So I just want you to notice that. So if you want to adjust them now, you can put your feet back down and adjust the balls. All right. So did anybody notice that that's stretched right up through their whole back? I know. It looks so simple too. That's it. Let your legs, beautiful. Let them give in. Notice what happens through other parts of your body. Okay, anybody find they needed to hold their breath? Right, so there's where you might want to make your S sound or just check out. If you find you're holding your breath, that means you're also holding your body very rigidly. Okay? Aren't you glad you came? Just so I could tell you all these good things about yourself. It's such a fun thing to do. So here's what you're going to do. It's just going to happen. Like I said, there's two options. I'm going to ask you to pretend your feet are resting against an imaginary wall, perpendicular to your floor under you. Your feet are resting against an imaginary wall, okay? What I'm going to ask you to do, your body's going to have two options. It's either going to respond or you're going to try to hold on to your habit. It knows what to do. So let's experiment with that. Slide your feet up this imaginary wall so that your legs are about 90-degree angle from the rest of your body. Good, there you go. So what happened to the rest of your body? So just kind of hang out. What did your other parts of your body have to do? Sherry, bring your legs closer together, especially if there's balance stuff. All of you want to get into that inner thigh muscle, right? And so see if you can leave your legs up there, flex and stretch your ankles a few times, just like we did when we were reaching the arms up towards the ceiling. Now you're reaching your legs up, and see if you can feel those inner thigh muscles, and then gradually bend your knees, let them fold back into you. So did you kind of notice how that was really, really informative? Some of you stretch your legs, your knees come together, your feet move apart. Really important information for scoliosis, for back pain, for knee problems, feet problems, right? So again, that's a little bit of a different class, but now let's open your thighs. Just let your gravity, yeah. So notice what happens through your whole body, just so we can, the knees are bent, they're resting towards your body, and now you're allowing your inner thighs to open up, use gravity, and just hang out like that. Right. And just notice if there's any sense, right? You've got two massive legs, the knees are bent. You're just opening your thighs. You have two massive thighs going out of that pelvic cavity. Hang out like that. I think it says Dan. I don't know if that is Dan, but I think your legs could probably move further apart than that if you let them. Right. Yeah. You'd have to turn sideways for me to see where the balls are, because they might be like, it looks like, yeah, let me just see you on the side. Perfect. Yeah, right. Arms out to the side. Yeah. Okay. That's not too bad. How does that feel?
Little, little tight over here on the back, lower back.
Yeah. So you don't remember learning how to read? Take your feet down one at a time. Yeah, take your feet down one at a time. I'm always surprised. I was teaching this morning and somebody was saying, oh, I'm stiff there. And I mean, wow. Yeah, that's what we are. We're stiff. That's what I mean. Learning how to read, learning how to tie shoelaces drove me nuts, right? Yeah, you're going to hopefully discover all kinds of challenges that are worth it. Feet are on the floor. Push the balls into a new spot. Dan, I would push the balls lower and stretch your legs out now. Feel the weight. Give in to gravity. Yeah. There you go. Stretch your legs out. Straighten your legs, stretch your legs out so they're just lengthened. Unbend your knees. There you go. Unbend your knees. Perfect. You okay with that?
Yep.
Perfect. And just let your legs rest. Feel the weight. All right. So that changed everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. All right. So just go ahead, flex and stretch your ankles and your heels again. So there's a couple of things that you want to remember when you do movement, all right? And then we're going to finish up in 5 minutes or so. So let's just get some sense of everything we do, everything you do in the world, walking into your kitchen, reaching for a cup, everything has a sense of working with gravity. Gravity only, really can feel it if you're breathing. You can't feel it if you're fighting it and clenching it. And that's what stiffness, a lot of times you really start fighting gravity, okay? So now reach your hands up towards the ceiling so you can start to feel everything works oppositionally. Reach the hands up towards the ceiling. Crisscross your arms so you hug your shoulders again. As you reach your elbows up over your head, taking your t-shirt off, I just also want you to flex and stretch your feet, reaching your right arm and your right leg and your left arm and your left leg, just like you're yawning and you're stretching, reaching your arms and legs in opposition, letting the arms rest on the floor overhead. Let's come back to your side again. Okay. All right. Let's just come back to neutral again. Just stretch your legs out. Claudia, the legs are stretched out on the floor. The knees are not bent, unless you're having a problem with that. Okay, we're trying this again. Bring your arms down and around, Danielle. I'm waiting for you to breathe. I don't know when that's going to happen. Let your arms rest. Just let your arms rest. Right. Okay. That's the hard part. Okay. That's the hard part. That's the part where the brain starts to feel something different and your body can switch into a different place. Now, try to feel the reaching your arms when you feel the weight of your hands reaching towards the ceiling. Does anything go down? Hands towards ceiling. Ceiling, the ceiling over your head. Yes, right, towards the ceiling face. Right. Anything drop down?
Ribs.
Thank you. We're going to do it one more time for one person. I'm not going to mention any names. Just bring your arms down. Okay. That means you're going to have to notice your breathing. You're going to have to notice opposition. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Dan said the ribs go down. Maybe they do. Why don't you try it? Reach the hands up. Do the ribs naturally go down?
No.
That's it. Legs hopefully are still there. Maybe you can activate them a little bit. Crisscross your arms, hug yourself. Hug yourself. You can still breathe. You don't have to make yourself breathe. You have to stop holding your breath, right? Let your ribs down. You're taking your t-shirt off. You're using the weight of your arms. Feel the weight of your legs. Reach your right arm and your right leg, left arm, left leg. Reach in opposition. That means equally, you will have to stretch arms and legs. If you only stretch your favorite parts, you don't discover new parts. All right, bring your arms down and around. Some of you will have to stay after for remedial classes. Take the balls away. I'm sorry, it's the easiest thing in the world to do. So, you know, I like to make jokes. It's kind of, I know, maybe boring for some of you. Take the balls away. Feel how you rest on the floor. This is how I have fun. Because I can feel what you're doing and I just want to go through the screen and just kind of make some of you breathe, right? So feel the weight now. What happens when you feel the weight? Now, I mean, this is a real thing. This isn't a thought about feeling weight. What happens when you feel the weight of your body now? Stretch your legs out. Do you rest on the floor any different than you did before? Has your breathing changed?
Flatter on the floor, breathing heavier, slower.
Okay. Okay. So you're feeling breathing in new places.
Mhm.
Okay. And you wanted, the reason I asked you to stay with some of these moments is because this is training you to learn new words so you can, you know, learn new things. So your nervous system is going, oh, didn't know the breath could go there. Okay. Or wow, I'm really lengthened out. You do not morph into a different body when you come back up to sitting, standing, walking in the rest of your life. You can still breathe differently. You can still move differently based on what you feel now. So let's roll over onto your side, rest on your side, and we're going to come back up to sitting. If you started sitting on a chair, you'll go back to the chair. If you were sitting on the floor, but just open-minded to how you sit now. So just take a moment just to kind of sense how you're sitting, and let's compare with when you first sat down. So again, just feel as much of your body. Maybe you actually feel something like maybe more of your body, right? Maybe there's more parts, because posture, as Kelly said in the beginning, is really hard when it's only one part of your body making posture, right? So that's hard. Or if you're holding your breath, right? So then it's hard. Balance is hard if you're just trying to squeeze your glutes. So go ahead now and just open your mouth and just sustain that exhalation. Soften the muscles around your jaw. Notice that wave, that area where you kind of don't want to feel like you're just bearing down. You want to really ride that thing. Right? That diaphragmatic muscle just moves and you let the breath back. Your rib cage will automatically, if that diaphragmatic muscle is not crushed, And that's something that happens naturally. So anybody notice anything different as we wrap up here? Anything, and again, you know, this is for you. So if you have something that's not working or something that is working or your breathing changed, put it into words. What's changed?
My legs feel heavier.
Okay.
Stopped fighting.
Feel lighter and relaxed, less tense.
All right, so the balance point in your body when you're sitting is those two sits bones. That's the balance point that allows the whole rest of your body to make posture, is how your body finds balance on those sits bones. And your body knows where it is, but the habit will sometimes pull you off balance. All right, well, we're going to stop there. Are there any questions before we stop?
Elaine, I have a question that I probably should have asked sooner. What do we do with our stomach as we're doing these exercises?
When you stretch, when you learn to stretch in opposition, your stomach muscles stretch. If you don't stretch in opposition, right, your stomach is again getting pushed out. It's getting pushed forward. As you go in opposition, right, when I bend forward, my stomach pulls in automatically because I'm going in opposition, right? So I don't have to, you know, like fight to get my stomach in. Every movement you do, your body is working in opposition. Whatever it is you do, hitting a tennis ball, anything. So you're going to have length here and your abs are going to go in, right? Now, if you're doing really strenuous exercise, yeah, then you can work them harder. But you can't just hold your abs in without all parts of your body stretching. And that's just when it becomes fun, right? Because the body starts really moving, right? Even in just simple things become enjoyable. All right, well, I'm gonna let you go. I just want you to know, I think my, I have notes here. I would suggest, you know, as we continue to do this, take classes.
Okay.
Join, you know, get yourself, because this stuff starts to make sense over time and you start developing different muscles. If you want to get anything for the next 2 weeks at a discount, if you use webinar 10, that's for you to use because you came to the webinar, 10% off on the shop page. Miracle Ball Method, no, yeah, miracleballmethod.com is the website. But again, all of you take something and practice it. Okay. Because again, it doesn't, your body is so well trained the way you're used to that you think, oh, it can't change. It's just stuff like that. No, you're actually continually training it in a certain direction each day. And I want you to untrain that so your body can function and be free, and you'd be surprised. I just can't believe what you did just today where it found balance. So anyway, that's my suggestion. And have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great class.
Good, Kat. Good to see you.
Elaine.
Just what I needed.
Good, good. Yeah, I know. You changed so beautifully, Claudia.
I was wondering if I did.
I thought you did beautifully. I was really surprised at like everybody. Just, you know, it was pretty amazing to see.
Elaine,
I mean, for me, you know, it's like, it was life-changing getting those moments, but like I was happy. I always say to my kids, The problem is people have really high expectations with so many things in life, you know? And then it's like, you don't live up to it sometimes, but I mean, a lot of times for me, just having like a little feeling of change made me realize how much I was like able to do things, you know, just a little something. Whereas I think people want so much, or they have ideas of what it is, but the body really changes in a very unusual way. It's very subtle, but it's doing it. It's doing the work. And it takes people that are kind of hyper like me and, you know, kind of really, you know, stiff here and I had a lot of pain. So, and it really it does it in the right way though, because you can't change your body intellectually. You know, it's kind of funny. You can't really change your body intellectually. It has to be through the sensory. If it worked intellectually, everybody would do it, right? Because everybody just say, oh yeah, hold my pelvis there, keep my chest there, I got good posture, because that's intellectual. But you want to put the intellect, your intelligence, into the physical feeling. And that's you. That's unique to you. That's when it becomes a beautiful thing, and it never ends. But the road for me was very bumpy in the beginning because I was really such a type A control person that I really thought if I just keep controlling everything. And I realized that my body really knew where to take me. And then I started to listen. So you can use that control, you can use that intelligence, but you have to realize there are certain parameters that are very powerful that will find your balance at the center of gravity. Doesn't mean you're going to be just like sitting on a chair all day. It means it allows you to just find that balance through where your sit bones are resting and letting yourself breathe. Well, anyway, I'm going on, but very enjoyable to meet you all. And I hope you come back and keep doing it, because I know some of you, I've seen you before. I've seen you before.
Elaine?
Okay. Yes, what's that, Dan?
Real quick, I'm just doing a lot of, I just in conjunction with Feldenkrais, and I do some somatics and some melt stuff. This all seems to be the same thing as far as awareness and a learning process. Am I right in that respect?
I mean, somatics, Feldenkrais, I mean, again, it is, I always found, I have, done all of the different things. And somatics basically means through your senses. Okay. Right, so it means through sensing, as opposed to, like you said, traditional exercises, more imitation. Right. But I think what I loved about this, and I had, brilliant teachers years ago, when the somatic movement was really, coming about, was allowing your body to simply go where it knows balance is. And that's a little different. Then it sort of makes Feldenkrais and everything else come alive. So it's a little bit more like the basics. But all right, well, I will let you know. But yeah, it is definitely.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay.
My Feldenkrais worker, he's always talking about my breathing.
Yeah.
And I find and he says, do the balls, they really work for you.
Yeah. I know I've done a lot of Feldenkrais and I love it, but it's like there's differences of just like there's different kind of exercises. There's different kinds of somatic work. And what I like about this is I don't really feel this is like a method as much as it is your body's method. I still feel Feldenkrais, you're doing an exercise, even though it's through the nervous system. This, I feel you allow your body to find your balance, to find the feeling, and then you can do whatever you want to do, whether it's somatic exercise, but without understanding that sense of literally enjoying the physical feeling of the body, we lose that. We lose it, especially as we age. We lose that because it gets those layers and layers of thought and intellectualism really take the joy out of moving. So it's not to be limp, it's just to feel the physical body. So a little different. You're on mute, Dan.
You suggest where I'm at right now, doing this stuff for like years, the miracle ball. Actually, the miracle ball was presented to me by someone in the melt class. They said, try the miracle ball methods. That was great. But so I do some melt work too, you know what I mean, with the rollers and that kind of stuff, which is kind of the same. I don't know if it's all the same, but where do you suggest I start with the miracle ball? I mean, where I am right now, right at the beginning, or where I know what I'm kind of doing right now is okay with the beginning of the courses, or just pick a course, you know, pick a.
I mean, if you wanted to take a class.
Yeah, I mean, where would I just like jump in based on what?
Yeah, you could go into one of the weekly classes, you know, you could go online and pick one of those because they're all small. They all have between 6 and 8 people in them. So I can see everybody on the screen and I work with everybody. And those are your basic classes. And like I said, because of their small groups, I can kind of keep it at the level for everybody.
Okay.
But yeah, it does take you further. And yeah, I think, yeah, go with your intuition to, you know, what you need for your body. Your body kind of tells you, you know, if you, because I do a lot of, you know, different things, but I kind of know when I need what I get from this.
Right.
So,
It's like I'm probably like you a little bit. They finally told me that it's like there's no end game to this. It's like the exercise. Being an athlete and growing up a lot, I needed to like work out to find the end game. This is all like a learning process. So I'm finally realizing that there's no, you know, you do this is going to happen. It's a process, like you mentioned.
That's what they is that you're just feeling your physical body. It's kind of like tuning up an instrument. I think what you're describing in some ways, and just hearing a little bit about what you're saying, is like if I, you know, tune up an instrument, right? That's different than if I play Chopin, rock, jazz, country, whatever. That's what you choose to do with the instrument. And that's cool, whatever anybody wants to do with their body, skiing, whatever they want to do, you know, yoga, it's like great, I love it all. But tuning up the instrument, I feel, is what we're doing, in the sense of just knowing the sound, knowing in music, knowing the hearing, the whatever. The sensory experience of your physical body is how you take it into what you want, so that you're more fully available to yourself. So that makes you be able to do things that you didn't think you could keep doing, because you think, oh no, this, you know, I have this shoulder injury or whatever, and it's terrible what goes on, even with young kids in sports and whatever, because they don't know how their body can self-adjust, you know, and that's not through doing, it's allowing. Your instrument is your own tuning instrument. So it knows how to get there. It's a very cool thing.
That makes sense. Okay, I won't keep it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I hope that makes sense, because I know it's like, it's kind of weird to describe it.
Well, it makes sense, but it makes sense if you think of it that way. But it's like, okay, how do you get to that point? How do you ever get to the point?
I think we're all there. So you're really, it's like you just lay down and let your body do the work. You feel the feeling of your breathing and you allow it to recover. I think the problem is that most of us are all into, what do we have to do?
Correct.
You know, I'm going to go into a class, then it's about what I'm going to do. But I want to make sure my instrument is there. So when I choose what I do, I want to be able to make it do that and feel like I have the oppositional stretch. My breathing gets responsive, you know, all kinds of stuff happens because I'm connected to my instrument from allowing it to tune up. So there is a process to kind of do that. But yeah, it's interesting. All right, well, I have another class. So I can let you go. And
thank you. Have a good day.
You. Good talking to you.
Thank you, Elaine.
Bye-bye. If you want to reach out, just reach out.
Thank you.
Email. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.